two pieces of it, right? There's the Islamists with the gun, and then the political Islamists, and they're both a threat. So the Islamists with a gun, a bunch of them came over the border in the last 4 years. So according to the National Counterterrorism Center, 18,000 known Islamist terrorists are here illegally. So that's just the ones illegally. Why are you coming to the United States if you're a member of ISIS? You're not coming here to raise a family. You're coming here to harm the United States. On the other side, when we talk about the Muslim Brotherhood, they are working in local communities, not just in Europe, but in here, working at like the Chamber of Commerce level, working in business associations, and they are doing influence operations. We all know they've been doing it in our universities for years, like China, and they do have an intent to merge the two, right? There'll be attacks, and there are hopes to get kind of more of a leaning towards where people will be more understanding of a caliphate. Now, when anyone looks at the caliphate plan, U.S. being taken over so far ahead of it, even the terrorists say that's like 50 years out. But when they talk about bringing back a caliphate, a lot of people view that as, oh, that's like eons ago. But the Ottoman Empire ended in our grandparents' generation, right? So the terrorists aren't believing in some idea that was thousands of years ago. They were believing something from like the 1940s. So, and they're seeing it come back into play and the power of it. I mean, the Taliban is getting recognized. I mean, Al-Qaeda's running Syria, etc. Qatar's always at the table. So they're seeing we're making this power move, and it really is bringing them back around, and they're getting into a phase where they feel they have momentum, and that's what makes them dangerous, because they feel strong and they think we're weak. A lot of people say, oh, Iran feels like they're up against the ropes now. They don't feel that way at all. They feel they're going to walk away with a victory. It doesn't matter if we killed 200 people or 250 people or bombed. They think at the end of the deal, they're going to sell it as a victory, and all these Islamists are preparing for that. So it is a game that they play in the way they view the world. It's not the way we view the world, but they think they're winning, and that's a threat.
Let me ask you, did a part of your career as a CIA target or working in Iran, because you said part of it was you were dealing with Iran, right? Did that kind of influence your decision to score that high?
Well, not exactly. So I did work the external operations of 400 and 900. Now I work Unit 840 in my free time. My decision's based on the fact that bin Laden's sons have a plan kind of bigger than 9/11, and I saw the costs imposed on us by 9/11, and that was only by a small number of guys, and this attack's a lot bigger, and so I know what Al-Qaeda is going to drag us into, and that's what makes me concerned. Even when we went into Iraq, then Al-Qaeda came in and flooded, and that's what kept it going, right? They kept it going in Afghanistan, so I'm worried that the terrorists is who's going to pull us into anything. I'm not worried about Israel. Al-Qaeda and ISIS can attack all day long. They have the capabilities, they have the bodies, they have the training, and that's where we waste all of our money, is on the operations against terrorists, and we're going to go through a whole nother 20, 30 years of it, I believe, after this attack by bin Laden's sons.
Okay, so do you have any speculation of what bin Laden's sons could possibly do if they were to attack? How would they do it?
Yeah, well, I know pieces of the plot. So how the plot is, it's going to, how they planned it. Remember, anything's aspirational with terrorists. You could throw it tomorrow and this all fails. The way they plotted is, we're going to bring past failures to fruition. So one of the biggest pieces is there's a plot called Bojinka from 30 years ago, and that was what happened. Do you remember Ramzi Youssef from the first World Trade Center? He had an electric fire in his house. He was in Asia. The cops came. They found these plans, and they thwarted this within 2 weeks. This was to take down about a dozen airliners over the Trans-Pacific. So they're going to bring that plot back to life, and it's to take down 12 airliners over U.S. soil. So they're using the same bomb maker from the time. His name's Yazid Sufat. He was released in 2022, and he went back to Afghanistan, so he's making the bomb. And that's the biggest piece of the plot. But what they changed this time is suicide bombers are going to detonate in their seats. So there's not going to be any Americans that can stop them in the aisleways, as they're trying to rush a cockpit. They'll just blow up in their seats. So that's the biggest piece. And then they have a piece that's, I call it like a siege on Washington, D.C. It's very similar to the Mumbai attacks. And that is targeting like the Capitol, the FBI building. And then the last phase of the plot is actually ISIS is taking it over, and it's going into like hometowns. They seem to mostly be focused on veteran communities, and it's just mass casualty, kind of where people live, work, and play, but not large towns, kind of like mid-level cities. So that's the main plan, how they have it currently laid out. And they've been sending terrorists here since late 2021, but the biggest influx came in 2022 and 2023. So they're here, ready, they've been casing. So it's actually a very big plot. Their goal is 3 times the deaths of 9/11. That's what they're shooting for, number-wise.
So 10K plus.
So the aviation plot alone, they want to do 4,000.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to come back to you on Israel, but let's stay on this. Do you agree